and I have about 20 years experience spanning pharmaceuticals, that's Pfizer, and then coming to telecommunication industry, that is Airtel and Globacom. And in all my years of experience, I've learned one powerful truth. The opportunity rarely goes to the most qualified person in the room. They go to the most visible and the trusted qualified person. Yes, you have to be qualified, but you must also be visible and you must be trusted. So tonight, we'll be looking at how to become that person that is visible, that is trusted, and that is reliable. And that is what today's topic will be all about. I hope I can start, sir.
Yes, please. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. My slide is hanging. Maybe network. Okay. Just a quick introduction. Can you see my screen? Has it changed at your own end?
Yes, that's changed. Yes.
Okay. So the first question I'm going to pose to everybody here this night is that have you ever been qualified but overlooked in a room? In whatever role you have handled before, have you felt that you are more qualified than the guy that was given the job? Have you felt overlooked before? If I say people should raise up their hand during this webinar, I'm sure that there will be so many hands raised up. But because it's not an in-person webinar, in-person presentation, so I won't expect to see a lot of answers. But the truth of the matter is that people have been overlooked before, even when they are qualified. And I know it is very painful. I learned this one very early on in my career. I watched people got promoted ahead of others who were technically stronger. What is the difference? Number one difference is the access people have, the relationship that people have built over time, and the trust that exists between yourself and the people appointing you to be a leader. What people say is that networking determines access. If you feel you can get that access without networking with people, trust me, you'll just be running at a very slow pace. So people say networking determines access, and access surely changes people's career progression. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Your voice is gone again. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. So I was just talking about the realities of opportunities, and I said that opportunities don't just go to strangers. They go to trusted professionals. Most opportunities come through relationship, like I said earlier. When I actually moved into enterprise business group as a leader, I realized something very quickly. I realized that multi-million dollar contracts were not always won by the best proposal that we have sent out. They were won by the most trusted team. Let me say that again. Those multi-million dollar contracts were won by the most trusted team. Because trust beats talent anytime, any day. When your talent is invisible, trust will definitely beat that talent. If people don't know you, they can't choose you. So I tell people that you have to be seen before you can be chosen. If you are not seen, nobody will know you. If you are not making noise out there, if you are not networking out there, nobody will know you. So you must be visible first. And that's why we say to people that trust beats talent that is hidden. Any talent that is invisible, trust will definitely trump over that. So I always advise people, be visible every time. Opportunity won't just come to knock on your door if nobody knows you. So you need to get known. And our webinar today, we also talk about how you can become noticeable in an environment and how you can manage the relationship that you're already building with people. My slide keep hanging, but let me see. Okay. How do we get opportunities from people? You need to understand this first. Number one, people don't give opportunities because you need them. They don't just give you opportunities because you feel you need them. You need to stop networking from desperation. Because you'll see people, once they get into the room, the first thing they want to do is to network and start sharing and start looking for area of common interest. This sounds desperate to people. And the people you are trying to network with will first of all pull away from you to see that, okay, this guy is actually looking for something. But before you can be given what you are looking for, what are you willing to give in return? Nobody wakes up excited to help someone who only calls when they need something. Nobody. Because you feel used. In my early days in Pfizer, I used to walk into hospitals thinking, how do I increase prescriptions? Because our job as a pharmacist working with Pfizer was to go into the hospital, talk to doctors on the kind of drugs that we have. We try to use the feature of our product to sell the benefit of the product, hoping that once we're able to sell these benefits, the doctors will begin to write prescriptions to their patients. So our mindset then was, how do I increase the number of prescriptions being written by a doctor on a daily basis? But I quickly also realized that that was a wrong mindset, because that mindset was not giving us the results. So we had to switch to, how do I help this doctor improve patient outcomes? So it's now moving away from me, it's moving to the third party. So I'm trying to look at, how do I add value to this third party? And once I moved from looking at, how do I increase prescriptions to, how do I help this doctor improve his patient outcomes, everything shifted immediately. We saw our performance go up by 56%, over 50%, because now we are focused on solving people's problems, not just extracting favors. They say to people that opportunity rewards value. So you need to shift from the mindset of, I need help. You need to move to the mindset of, here is the value I bring. And when I give you this value, I'm very sure that whatever I have as a problem, you will also be willing to solve it. So we need to shift that mindset, and that is how you can get opportunity from people, or else people will lock up for you. We begin to say, okay, they are denying me access because they have seen that you are a taker, you are not a giver. But what people say in relationship building is that you have to be a giver before you can get anything in return. And again, we drafted up something. This is not from me, this is something I copied, which is what we call the opportunity formula. Opportunity formula can be equated to clarity. You have clarity of what you want and what you can provide. You add it to the value that you are willing to add to that person you are talking to, or to the environment where you are believing you can pick something from. You add it to your visibility. How visible are you within a room? Coupled with trust, that gives you the opportunity that is available to you. And if people don't know what you do, if they don't understand your strength, if they don't see evidence of your competence, if they don't trust your delivery, they can never recommend you. They can't. When I led web new business as part of the role I've held before in Globacom, we made something crystal clear. We made people know that we drive digital revenue growth. So it's not that I want my organization to become bigger. I'm telling you what we drive in your own organization. So we are saying that as web new business, we are going to help your organization drive your digital revenue growth. And that clarity just helped us immediately to secure a lot of fintech partnerships that unlock millions in new revenue for our organization. Clarity, they say, makes you preferable to your clients. Hello, am I still audible? Hello,
Yes,
can you hear me?
You are very audible, please. Yes.
Okay. So I would have said we should conduct a mini activity, which I believe that in our respective homes we can do. You need to write down a sentence, and you need to fill the sentence yourself. And the sentence does that. I help who? Who do you want to help? Which organization do you want to help? In your own career, who do you think you can help? So you say, I help so person or so organization achieve what? What do you hope to help them achieve? And by what time? By what percentage? If you are able to write this sentence and you're able to complete it, you would have achieved something. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I need to keep checking because, I just don't want to be talking to myself.
No, you are not.
Okay.
Noise in the background, I can always create one.
So if it was hard for people to actually write down this sentence, trust me, you would have just discovered why opportunities may be slow to come by. So that assignment is to let you know that as simple as that statement is, you need to really sit down to know who are you willing to help. and what are you willing to help them achieve? And by what percentage or by what time are you hoping that you would have achieved this for them? If you're able to write down it easily, trust me, I will clap for you here, because it's something that will take a lot of, soul searching. It will involve a lot of talking to people for you to be able to determine what you need to do. And that's why we say it will become very slow for you to see opportunity, but you need to be active at searching for opportunity. But like we said, you must also be willing to add value. And we have practical ways to get these opportunities. And these are practical ways that have been tested and trusted. Number one, you have to be specific about what you do. You must be known for something specific. You must learn how to ask intelligent questions. They will ask you, are you asking probing questions? Are you asking closed questions when you're supposed to be asking probing questions? Closed questions are questions that would deserve a no or yes answer. Is that the kind of question you're asking? Or you're asking probing questions that will lead to other conversations where you can actually spot an opportunity? These are the things that will be required of you for you to open that gate of opportunity to yourself. You need to follow up. And this is what people fail at. That you are networking, you have met this person, you have exchanged cards. You exchanged card yesterday, you have not gotten back to this person in another week, in another 2 weeks, in another 3 weeks. You're already forgotten. So they say you have to follow up that your conversation, that your initial conversation, you need to follow up consistently. And you must be ready to offer help before asking. You remember we spoke about that you must be willing to give something before you expect something in return. One of my favorite networking questions will be, what are you currently working on? You want to open up a conversation with somebody you've not really met before. You're in a professional gathering, and you're saying, okay, what are you currently working on? Such a question will prompt the guy that you're talking to begin to explain some things, because he's also going to see an opportunity to impress you, to tell you about his achievements. From there, you can now have a common interest. You can spot common interests that can form basis for what you guys will be discussing in the near future. When I became the retail chief for Lagos division in Globacom, we built influence, myself and my team, by helping other departments to solve their distribution challenges. Remember what I said? We were able to build influence. And guess what happened? Our revenue increased by over 30% because we contributed before requesting for something. We helped other departments to build their distribution model, and in return, they were willing to support us. Networking is contribution before you are compensated. So don't think that because you have gone to church, you have seen the MD of an organization, or because you have seen the MD of the bank, you are privileged to meet him and you are just, giving him your card to say, my organization into this and would like to do this for you, want to get this one from you. The guy will lock up immediately because he is going to see you as a taker. The first question is, what do you have to bring to the table before you can now begin to ask for what is in it for you? I spoke about why you need to follow up. That after the initial networking, how do you follow up in such a way that you are remembered every time? Number one, the standard operating procedure, if you allow me, SOP, is for you to send a message within 24 hours. Just to remind the person, my name is Lawrence. We met yesterday at so gathering. It was nice meeting with you. I hope that we can continue this conversation. If I'm to tell you a secret, I will tell you that most professionals, they fail not because they lack talent. It's because they disappear after the initial conversation. They disappear completely. After meetings, they just vanish like you are just an invigilator in an exam hall. After an invigilator collects your answer script, you just don't see him again. He just disappears. And that is the way people treat networking relationship. That after the initial conversation, they just disappear into thin air. Maybe after 6 months, and they're in a big problem, they remember that, yes, I have this guy, met this guy that can solve my problem. And you begin to reach out because you have a problem to be solved. Trust me, you are getting it all wrong. You can't network that way. In enterprise sales, some of our biggest contracts, after 6 to 8 months, we kept knocking. We kept knocking consistently. We kept following up consistently before we were able to break the barrier. What they say is that consistency builds familiarity. And familiarity builds trust. Trust builds opportunity. They say networking is a discipline, consistency. You have to be consistent so that I don't have that feeling that you are trying to use me. That's it. That's why you are trying to reach out to me. But imagine you met me last week. Within last week and today, we've discussed different topics, from sports to politics to economy to what your organization is doing to what my organization is also doing, to where we have point of intersection. So that tomorrow, if I have an interest in something and I call you to say, okay, do you have this to offer? And you're able to offer me. Trust me, anytime you also come back to me to say you have this big problem and you feel I'm in a position to solve it for you, I won't feel used at all. I'll be so happy to actually solve it for you. How do you become valuable and memorable? Because, in networking, you want to be sure that you have value to add to the person you are trying to network with, number one. Number two, you want to be sure that they can also remember you. You don't want to keep introducing yourself every time you place a call across to say, my name is Lawrence. Remember, we met last year, we met 2 months ago. How do you become valuable and how do you become memorable? They say competence is the foundation. So don't let us forget that beyond networking, you must have skill that you are bringing to the table. So your competence can never be in question. So competence is the foundation of your networking. Networking cannot save you from your mediocrity. So you cannot say, because I'm a mediocre and I'm networking, I will be a success. No, what we are saying is, if you have two competent people, who will trump the other? The guy that knows how to network, the guys that people can remember, the guy that is valuable to the people. This is the guy that they will give the contract to, not the other guy. But remember, the other guy is also competent. So we cannot just sweep competence under the rug. When I transitioned from pharmaceuticals to telecom leadership, I had to relearn everything, because you are coming from a pharmaceutical sector where it is so organized, where ethics is the order of the day, where we have professionalism at its peak. Remember, we are talking to doctors. Doctors will influence the life of their patients. And you remember, as a pharmacist, you're also producing drugs that will affect the lives of millions at a time. So I had to relearn everything completely. I had to go and learn what they call these channels. I had to go and learn what they call the distribution networks. I had to go and learn enterprise strategy. I invested heavily in learning, because here is the truth. Your network can open the door. Yeah. If you are networking, it can get you into that room, but only the competence can keep you in that room. And it's a normal thing that people just say it out there. But if you pay attention to it, that networking can open that door. But what will keep you in that room is your competence. So you cannot but make sure that competence is your foundation. They say if you're excellent, people will remember you. Networking cannot compensate you for lack of, number one, communication ability. You must know how to communicate. You must know how to talk to people. You must know how to approach. You must know how to break the ice. You must have the industry expertise. So if you are meeting somebody in telecommunication industry and all you want to talk about is non-telecom, that guy will put off immediately. So you must have that industry expertise. That's why we say, make sure that the meeting you are attending are professional meetings. Meetings that have something to do with where your area of competence lies. You must have problem-solving skill. You must have that mindset of there is a problem I need to solve, not the mindset of I have to take from these people. And you must be emotionally intelligent. This is very, very important. People just throw it out there, emotional intelligence, but we need to really understand what emotional intelligence is all about. You need to read the room. You need to read the room properly. You need to see the person you want to network with. You need to be sure that you are reading this person very well before you approach. And that's why we say your emotional intelligence must be at its peak. Becoming valuable to people. You need to understand the problem that people around you, the problem that they are grappling with, the problem that they are struggling with. And how can you make their work easier? As a business manager, when I was in Airtel, I focused on empowering my regional managers, because I know that when my team wins, because of me, my reputation will just grow faster than my resume. And you know that. Because all the people that I'm helping to win become my advocates immediately. How do you become valuable? Number one, you have to share insights. You must show that you have the knowledge of what you're talking about. You need to connect with people. You need to provide solutions to people's problems. You need to be reliable, and you must deliver beyond expectation. Reliability is very important. You must be sure that when people call on you, your no must be no, your yes must be yes. You must be predictable. They must know that when I call on this guy to solve a certain problem, he will solve it for me. Be that guy that when that guy is thinking about you. When he's thinking about problem, he's thinking about it to say, oh, I know this man can solve my problem. And trust me, your reputation will grow faster than you think. Becoming memorable. They say people will remember people with confidence and humility. They will remember people that are very consistent, people that have integrity. They say your reputation is your networking currency, and integrity compounds faster than strategy. No matter the strategy that you know, if you don't have integrity, nobody will be willing to relate with you. So to stand out, you need to improve your digital profile. Because if you're exchanging card with me, the first thing I'm going to do is to log on to my LinkedIn to go and check your profile. I spoke to somebody 2 days ago or 3 days ago, and we're having conversation. And based on the conversation we've had and the fact that we're exchanging, contacts, the first thing I saw was the person to my LinkedIn profile to go and check me out. Imagine if you are checking me out on LinkedIn profile and what they are saying there is not representative of what they want to see. It puts people off. So number one thing you need to do is to improve your digital profile. And you must be able to speak up intelligently. Make sure that when people are having conversation and you are joining that conversation, you are bringing something in the form of intelligence to the table. And you must be ready and be willing to keep your word. Once you promise something, make sure you deliver on it. So if you say, oh, Lawrence, I'm going to send you a journal. Journal is going to talk about an article. Make sure that the day you have promised me you're going to send it, you are sending it to me. That speaks to your reliability. And you must be known for something specific. Reputation is your networking currency. I hope you are still hearing me, sir. Hello?
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you.
Loud and clear.
And we cannot finish this conversation without having a networking plan. Today we are saying we are going to talk about networking like a professional. So we cannot finish this conversation without looking at, can we now build a plan to say, so that this conversation today, this webinar today will not just go to waste. Can we have a plan, a 90-day plan? And this is a plan that people have used before and has worked. To say, in the next 90 days, divided into 3 months. In month 1, can you clarify your positioning? What do you stand for? What do you hope to gain out of every conversation, every networking opportunity that you have? Let's make it practical. Can you, in the next 30 days, go to your LinkedIn and go and update it based on what you have achieved, based on what you have done? Can we update our LinkedIn profile? And can we reconnect with 10 contacts, 10 professional contacts? So that will be like an assignment for us in this networking plan in the next 1 month, that you want to clarify your positioning, you want to update your LinkedIn profile, and you want to ensure that you reconnect with 10 contacts. Trust me, there's an end result to this. Month 2, you want to ensure that you are attending minimum of 2 professional events. You need to reach out intentionally. So you're not just attending this event, you're attending with that mindset of, I am going there to network. Do that for minimum of 2 professional events in the next 2 months, meaning month 2, the next 30 days after the first 30 days. And month 3, can you begin to share your insight publicly? Can you begin to write something on LinkedIn? So that when you eventually meet people and they go to your profile, they can begin to see what you stand for, the kind of insight that you've been providing. And can you make sure that you are offering value consistently? If you do this seriously, trust me, in the next 3 months, your career will take a leap, in fact, a very sharp trajectory along the positive route. People say that opportunities don't chase the most desperate people. It doesn't. They chase the most valuable and the most visible people. And let me leave you with this before I round up this presentation. Opportunities don't chase the most desperate. They chase the most valuable and the most visible. So my advice to everybody and my charge to everybody on this call today is, number one, be valuable, add value. Be visible, make sure that people see you. Make sure that you are seen. Your digital signature must be all over the place. And most importantly, make sure you are trustworthy. And trust me, you will be recommended in rooms you have never entered. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow, this was a more than powerful speech, and I'm glad we recorded it. I'm so happy to be here. I'm sure others right here too are glad to be here. So before we start the questioning section, since we have a group that is very manageable, what I want us to do now is we do a little practical aspect of what we've just learned. And what we're just going to do is you just introduce yourself. I'll give everybody 5 minutes to just think about it. Think about it. So my name is this, or my name is so and so. I do so and so, and I use it to help people. What solution do you provide? Please, mind you, when we say professional, people get it wrong. They always think professional has to just be white collar job or whatever. No, a professional can be someone who is also a blue collar job. You can be a welder, you're a professional. You can be a plumber, you're a professional. Okay. So, but you say my name is blah 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 blah. I am so and so. That's your profession. And what do you do to help people? What solution do you provide? It will make you to clarify what you do. So, I would start randomly. I will just call a name. So I'll give us 5 minutes to think about it and see if you have any questions before then. Let me know. So 5 minutes, we think about it. My name is this. This is what I do. This is a solution I provide to people. Okay, just in that 3 lines. Because, like you said, to network as a professional, you can't be shy. Whenever I'm talking about, you can't be shy and say you want to network with people. That's already a negative side. You have to be bold. You have to be confident, and you need to speak, articulate yourself clearly, so people understand what you do. So let me just give us 5 minutes break. We'll have a musical 5 minute break. Please think about it. Think about what you do. Then in the next 5 minutes, almost in the next 3 minutes, I would bring the house back and we'll start on that. Okay. So let's have a short musical break for 3 minutes for us to think. You could get a sheet of paper and write it down if you want to articulate yourself properly. And you don't have to, if you're a student here, say I'm a student, or I'm working towards this. I'm a student of blah 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 university. This is what I intend to be, and this is what solution I'll provide to people. Okay, so if you're a student here in the university, or doesn't matter, you're also going to become a professional someday anyway. That's why you're going to school. So don't be shy. Okay. All right. Let's get back quickly then. Okay. So because our speaker will be leaving in 10 minutes. So let's do it quick. I think what we'll do is let's throw the questions to him now. Then when it's done, we'll do the little section, okay? Because he will be leaving in the next 10 minutes. So please, do you have any questions, please? Ask your question before we run the practical aspect of this. Does anyone have any question? Please ask your question before we start. Anyone with a question? don't have to be shy. Okay, I have a question. If you don't, okay, Francis Adedeji, please ask your question.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity, and thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful presentation. So, I think my question is going to be around the fact of, for people that more like have like multiple things, multi-talented. So, how can they be able to, bring together all the values they can offer, right, and able to present themselves in that way that will not make them look as if they are more like jack of all trade and master of none. I don't even get that, sir.
Of course, Mr. Didiji, I heard you very well, and you actually took it right out of my mouth when you said you are multi-talented and you don't want to be jack of all trade. Uh, you don't just go into an event or you don't just meet people blindly. If you have seen some movies before, you will see that when the host is going to meet people, there's somebody beside that host. As you're approaching someone, is already telling you, this is so person, this is what he does, this is what he has achieved. Meaning that you need to know the profile a bit of the person you are talking to before you begin to show them what you can do. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking about attending professional event, and I said to you that, okay, you are going to an event that has to do with photography, for instance, and you're a multi-talented artist. One of your competence is photography. You're already looking at the environment where you are, so you're able to streamline what you're going to discuss to what as it relates to where you are. You must be conscious of the environment. You understand? So you don't just throw everything you do at people. Now, today, I've spoken to you like I'm a telecom pharmacist person, but I'm much more than that. But I'm not talking about it today because I have to narrow my conversation to what is relevant to what we're discussing today. So my advice to you will be, before you start throwing it out there, you need to understand the profile of the people you are talking to. That way, you will know which of your talents you are to showcase. You don't need to drop everything at once. You also need to mystify yourself. You don't need to demystify yourself completely at a time. Make it like a Pandora box where as they get to know you more, you begin to, unwrap yourself for them to also see other things you are made of. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Mr. Francis.
Yes, you did that excellently well. So I think my follow-up question would be, now on LinkedIn is more like a networking section. So how do you manage that multi-talented skills on LinkedIn? So is it the version of yourself you show, or all of your version? But I just want to learn, just able to to be professional in terms of networking on LinkedIn. So how do we balance that?
So LinkedIn is I've seen people use LinkedIn to greet themselves, happy birthday to you, I'm celebrating this, happy birthday to me. And I say to people, don't get it all wrong. Every of the channel has its own use. LinkedIn is for professional connection. So I say to people, as multi-talented as you are, there will be 1, 2, 3 of your skills that you want to put out there. It's not that you want to put everything out there. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, I'm sure you will see something like I'm a pharmacist, but I'm not practicing pharmacy. You understand? As we speak now. But you see that I'm a pharmacist, but I'm also a telecom professional. But like I said to you, I'm much more. But I don't intend to confuse people. You understand? I just pick those ones that I believe I'm comfortable in, the role I'm comfortable in, that's number one. Number two, the roles that are relevant in today's environment. Because you also need to look at the relevance of the talent you want to put out there. Are you following me, Mr. Francis? So you need to streamline what you put on your LinkedIn profile. You need to make sure that it is relevant to today's environment and it's something that you want people to know about you. You don't need to put 10. Just put 2, 3 at most so that people know what you stand for, or else you will send a wrong signal to people. It just wants to be everything. You understand? And you don't want to send that across on a professional connection page. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Mr. Ogunbawo, please ask your question. Ogunbawo Isaac Adeleke, please ask your question. Mr. Ogunbawo Isaac, are you there? Okay, then I'll ask my question before.
Yes, please.
Okay, please ask your question.
Yes, please, I'm here. Thanks to the facilitator and thanks to the organizer. I'm so grateful for the insights I've learned from this. I really appreciate. I do not take the opportunity for granted. So, sir, quick one. I did like to ask, in a professional gathering full of professionals, and let's say outside that particular section, you spot some business opportunity. For me as a person, I work with a travel management company where we handle the flight itinerary of government, parastatals, and ministry. Now, when you're trying to pitch your services to some persons, how do you handle prospects that seems to have been um, clinch, or that seems to be hooked to a particular product or a particular organization, and you know quite well that what you are having is a better version of whatsoever service they are currently. Please, can you please let me mix this other places so that it does not.
Okay, yeah,
Sir,
sorry.
please, are you still with me, sir?
Yeah, please continue. I've done that.
So what I'm trying to say is that when you spot a business prospect, and while you're trying to get the person to an open-ended conversation that will probably lead to another kind of business discussion some other time, you find out that this person is probably a little bit stiff and is getting loyal to a particular service organization is with before, and you know very well that what you are having presently supersede that which he is having. How do you manage such conversation, and how do you keep it going to convince the person? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay. So you're actually taking me back to sales. And I smile because when I joined Pfizer, I was in a training school for about 2 months. And these were part of the things that we were taught in school, in that sales training school. Oh, number one is, you cannot start a discussion in one day and finish it in one day, you know. And again, you know that people are loyal to brands for different reasons. People are loyal to different organizations for certain reasons. To you, you have a better product, you understand? To him, beyond the product is getting value in terms of customer service from the other provider. And so that's why I say you don't just jump into an opportunity. A mindset shift is needed. Remember when I pointed at, my days in Pfizer, when I said my mindset then was to get that doctor to write prescription of my products. And I told you that we're not successful at that. But immediately we shifted to the mindset of, okay, how can I provide something that will give your patient a better outcome? The guy became receptive. You are following my conversation, sir. So such will require you to knock on the door severally. I've worked in enterprise business group before where we pursue prospect for 1 year. You keep knocking on the door until you will spot an opportunity. See, it's not all prospect that you convert to your customer, trust me. But when you spot that opportunity, and that time will come if you are very patient and if you are very consistent. If you just go back to all the values we spoke about when we were talking about being memorable, being consistent, checking up on your network, because things change. That product that is serving its purpose today will not serve its purpose tomorrow. If you are not there that tomorrow, when you need a change in product, you have lost it. So you just need to be consistent. You need to check back, and you don't need to knock down the product the guy is currently using. You don't need to knock down the organization is currently patronizing because you may be stepping on the wrong toes. You understand what I'm saying? All you need to do is to focus on your own product. Talk more about the benefit of your own product. You know how to position your product. But again, it's not going to happen at your first time of networking with the guy. No. You can't meet me at a gathering and start a conversation and begin to pitch me immediately. You have lost it because that gathering was for something else. What I will expect you to do is to start a conversation that will lead to further conversation. Maybe the MD of that bank, you've not been able to get into his office, but you are seeing him at a social gathering. You can use that to create an opportunity for yourself where it's going to be like next week Wednesday, I will open my calendar to you. You can come to see me in my office. So you prepare. You go and do your research about the guy. Go and do research about what you want to tell him. And then you can go there and make a very good pitch, but not at the first meeting. I hope I've been able to, address some of your concerns, Mr. Isaac.
Very well, sir. I'm so grateful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. The next question. I have a question for myself. The first question is, what is a great conversation starter for you, especially for people who are shy? What do you think is a great conversation starter when you're in an event and you want to network?
So I will say to people that they need to go and, read about the art of breaking ice. When they say break an ice, how do you start conversation? It's something that you need to learn on your own. You understand? Because the way you break an ice with me is different from the way you're going to break an ice with other person. So I cannot say this is what you will do, because I will somehow stereotype you and you're going to miss it. You need to respond to the environment where you find yourself. So you're in an environment of medics, for instance, and you want to break an ice. What are you going to talk about? COVID just happened. Can we talk about the impact of COVID on his practice? You understand? Can you ask him in terms of what the world is now talking about? They said America pulled out of the WHO, and all of a sudden there's cure for cancer. Russia is telling you that they have cure for cancer. Iran is telling you they have cure for cancer. China is telling you they have cure for cancer. Can you lead him in that conversation to say, okay, what is your opinion? What are your views? That's why I said, when you're asking them questions, ask probing questions. Don't ask close questions. Close questions will not give you the opportunity to get to know the guy. It won't give you the opportunity to get the guy to talk. You need to ask him open-ended question that will allow him express himself. And as he's talking, you're able to pick up points that you can, expatiate on and begin to have that conversation. But again, you must have competence in the field you're about to go into, or else you will not have anything to talk about. You'll just be smiling sheepishly. You understand? You have to be intelligent. You must be an expert in that field that you are delving into. So, to break an ice, you need to just look at. In fact, you can even start with a movie. That's why I say you must read the room very well. You must read the room. You must know that what you're about to start is a conversation that will be productive.
Okay.
Thank you.
Another question is this: are business cards still very valid? Because most conversation you hear on LinkedIn, and even from my own experience, when I get business cards and all that from events, I hardly look at them. I just end up putting them somewhere on the fridge or whatever, and it goes. So the question now is: are business cards still valid in this digital world that we're in? You still have to have business cards when you go for event.
The answer is yes and no. The answer is yes and no. And I'll still take you back to what I said earlier, that you must read the room. You must understand the environment where you're operating. So while I was in enterprise business group, we do a lot of public sector business, public sector meaning government business, And when you go to government people, the head of parastatals, the ministers, the governors of this world, trust me, their card mean a lot. And your card also mean a lot to such people. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Your card mean a lot to such people. So in such an environment, you may want to drop your card. You understand? If that governor decides to drop his card for you, it means a lot, especially when he's writing something at the back, meaning he personally gave it to you. You didn't just pick it in his office. He didn't just see it somewhere. He personally gave it to you. That is why he writes something at the back. You understand? But if you're in a corporate sector, maybe you go to, you're seeing captain of an industry, maybe an oil mogul. In that case, you want to make sure that you get his contact directly from him, and you are taking his phone number on your phone, and you are making sure that you reach out to him that very night in form of a text message, introducing yourself. Because when he sees your text message, he's able to save your contact. That card most likely won't get home with it. Trust me. That card most likely it will not go back to it. I have a lot of business cards in my office that I've never touched before. Since the day they gave it to me, it's been in my drawer. You understand? I forgot it. But imagine that guy successfully, I won't say flash me, but he sent me a message, an interesting message, a day after we met. Most likely I will store his number. If that message is a message that I see will bring value to me. If that message is not a message that I know is going to ask me for something. If it's a message that is adding value to whatever conversation we have had before, trust me, I'm going to save that number. And that is a win for him. So that's why I said to you that my answer will be a no and a yes, depending on the environment where you find yourself. Mr. Mayo, I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes. Can we go with one more question before you go? Is it possible?
Okay, one more, sir.
Okay. Anyone with another question? Do you have any question, please? Okay, I have a question. This one is a practical experience. There was this time I went to an event and I met someone interesting, and we had a conversation. It was quite insightful. We talked a lot, and we had a very good time. And I was happy that I was able to meet the person. And so the person gave me their email address and their contacts, which shows like a green light based on what you've explained. Now, in the next 2 months, in a week after, something happened. The person got a very big appointment, very, very big appointment. That elevated him almost like 20 times to a very, very big role, which would have meant that last week I wouldn't have met someone like him in that position. Okay. So immediately I got home, before that 1 week, I already sent emails, sent a follow back, like you said. And I was expecting, okay, in a week time, I should get the feedback. There was no feedback. After a week, 2 weeks, I sent a reminder, there was no feedback. A month, I tried again, there was no feedback. You know, at the end, I just gave up. I just let everything be. So now the question now is, when you keep sending reminders, feedback, does it make the person overwhelmed in this case? Or should you just let it be like that and just, forget about it? I don't know if I'm able to, I paraphrase my question properly, because it was just coming out from my head. If you don't understand, I can come back.
I understand what you put out there. You understand.
Okay.
When we were having this presentation, I spoke about desperation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You also don't want to come across as being desperate. Number one, you have met this guy today. We said within the first 24 hours, because your conversation is still very fresh, reach out to him. Remember, when you met him, you're supposed to make sure that you are memorable. You must have done something. You must have, you must strike some chord. That first meeting, you must strike some chord. And within 24 hours, you are able to follow up with a chat, a message, an email. If it's an office email address that I gave you, an email to him, a professional email, reintroducing yourself, not necessarily asking for anything, but letting him also know the kind of value you can add to whatever he's doing. But again, even if you have done all the right thing, it doesn't mean that it will work all the time. So I must prepare you. Maybe the one you had is just one outside, the ones we will call successful networking experience. You understand? You don't need to feel bad about that. It doesn't mean that you have done anything wrong. Some people just have very poor ethics. Even though they are up there, they have very poor ethics. I know people that if you call them from now to next day, they will not pick your call. They will not even return your call. They will only remember to call back the day they need you. You may fall in that bracket. You understand? But you also don't want to come across as being desperate. So don't feel defeated. Not all prospects will eventually turn to a valid call. You understand? And not all networking experience will become successful eventually. If it's going to become successful eventually, by now I would have been the president of this country. You understand? So you must know that life is all about ups and downs. So despite all the training we've had, all this conversation we've had, it doesn't mean that it will work all the time. But try it. Try 10 people. Even if you're able to win 2 or 3 out of these 10, you have won something. Because you even don't need more than one opportunity for it to transform your life. You don't even need more than one opportunity for some things to transform everything you need to transform. Some people will tell you their success story, and you see that success story is coming out of one contact, not several contacts. So don't feel defeated. Try it. Read books. You understand? Make sure that when you have the opportunity to talk to people, make sure that you can be remembered for something. Make sure that you leave something on that person's mind, so that tomorrow when you are reaching out, the guy will remember that, oh yeah, can we continue our conversation? But if you wait till 1-2 weeks after he's been elevated several steps ahead, he will think you're a user, that you've read the news, you've seen what he has become, and all of a sudden you are fanzing. allow me to use that word, you are fanzing. You don't want to familiarize yourself. Thank you, Mr. Mayowa.
Thank you very much. Okay, so with this, we come to the end of this talk. Thank you very much, Mr. Lawrence, for having you. It's a privilege having someone who is practical, not a motivational speaker or somebody, but someone who has been in the field, knows what he's talking about, and give us a very practical guidance. So we are grateful. We don't in any way, we're very grateful for this opportunity, like I said. And on behalf of the house, I say thank you and thank you very much. With that said, I will stop the recording now, and recording will stop.